Hey everyone, I'm going to do a video on a Polaris Scrambler 4x4. I got this about a week and a half ago. A guy had a trade on Craigslist looking for a tractor for a four-wheeler. And I wrote back, I thought riding mower is actually what he had. And I wrote back, yeah, I got a 2005, box store piece of shit. Didn't say it quite in those words. But he wrote back and said, no, I'm actually interested more in like a garden tractor, kind of heavier machine. And I thought, hey, I have they call it's New Holland. It was a 16 horse, had a Kohler motor on it. Rough tractor though. It was been out in the weather for its whole life. But I had a plow on it and it did run. So I had 150 bucks in that. And I said, well, it's up to you if you want to do a swap. So he kept calling me back, was really interested, and he finally came to my house. He had the four-wheeler in the back, and I had the tractor. He liked the tractor, and I liked the four-wheeler. So we came to agreement. You take the tractor, and I'll take the four-wheeler. It actually ran quite well. I'm surprised. It was had a pull start on it. Electric start did not work. And some other things didn't work, but I pull started it and took it for a tune around the yard. It is a 400cc single cylinder, two-stroke liquid cooled, and it goes like hell. I mean, it really goes like hell. And I took it up on the lift and just started tearing into it and seeing what it needs and what it doesn't need and where I need to go with it. So that's what I just did. I kind of dug into it and I made a little shopping list, and I'll take you for a little walk around, kind of see the stuff that I found. Right off the bat, all the chains were beat. Somewhere I got a flashlight on me. So I, of course now I can't find it. Let's see if we can see. I don't even know if you can see it. It doesn't even hold true. The chain, as you spin it, racks in one location, and it's dry as a bone. Some of the cogs in the center are actually kind of split and tearing apart, and the teeth are rolled over. This thing has a ridiculous amount of chains. It's got the regular rear setup from there back, then it has another one that goes from here to the front to another jack shaft, then from that jack shaft it goes across to the front differential. So there's 3 sets of chains and 6 sprockets on it. Fortunately, they sell them as a kit. I seen them on eBay for, I think it was $120 plus shipping, so that's not too bad for all that stuff. I thought I was going to get raped for them. The rear brakes were beat, but it's just pads. Yeah, I took it for a ride. I couldn't go slam on the rear brakes, and there was absolutely nothing. And then I grabbed some of the front, but it was too late. I was already stuffed it in the snow. On that same shaft, in the middle, is I guess you call it a jack shaft support. Actually backwards. It goes like that. And when I was kind of playing around with it, I could see that I could take the whole shaft, and this is coming right out of the tranny, and rock it back and forth. And there's a sprocket here going to the front, along with the front brake sits here. So this was moving back and forth pretty bad. And I thought it would have had a bearing in there, but it doesn't. All there is what's left of a brass bushing. And of course, like every good mechanic, we all have junk drawers. Guess what? Look at that. The only brass bushing I have is dead nuts, the right size for it. So hey, every once in a while you'll win one. So that'll take care of that. Brakes, I'm going to do brakes all the way around because the front ones are gone also. There's really nothing left of them. And the other side's actually even worse. That right down to the rotor. The starter. I took the starter out and figured maybe I could take it apart and clean it, put it back together. It's never a good sign when a bunch of water comes out of the starter. And the actual magnets are sticking to the stator instead of the body. So at that point I figured, I don't think we're going to fix this one. And then it has a Bendix on the end of it with like a clutch pack in it, and all the guts blew out of that too. Apparently I think it's kind of common for it to happen, because when I looked on again eBay, there was about 47 different starters for this machine, and are actually fairly cheap. I think they started at like 30 something bucks. So that's that guy. It's got good tires on it all the way around, and the suspension seems pretty good. He didn't give me too much history on it, just said it was his and yeah, yada yada. The registration sticker for New Hampshire was from this past year, so it was being ridden last year. And the thing has a bunch of stickers on it. You gotta read it. You know, it's got different kinds of reed valves and moose this, and I gotta admit, I'm not that familiar with this Wisco pistons, Cooney racing curbs, and factory FX. And everywhere you look at it, there's just stickers kind of sticking out all over the place. So if this stuff is all on here, it would kind of explain why the thing screws pretty good. And the drivetrain actually seemed pretty tight. The motor and the tranny seemed fine. I took the belt cover off the other side. Everything looks good inside the clutch. Forward and reverse worked fine. The suspension seemed pretty good. He had a winch on it, and it looks like they just bolted it right to there. Well, at some point they ripped the welds out of the front, but that's no big deal to put that back together. And it's kind of machine, I don't really know if you want a winch on this thing anyway. It's got hand warmers on it. Of course they're unplugged, and the headlights aren't working. But the four-wheel drive works. It seemed to go down the trail pretty good. I didn't see any bad spots or anything on the frame. It's got a couple of aftermarket CV protectors on them, and they're squished pretty good, but the lower A-arm seemed fine. So I'm gonna go do a little bit of homework and see what my parts are gonna cost. Oh, the last thing is it needs a seat cover. The seat's tore up, but again, they're on there too. So as I said, I had a 150 in the tractor, and I have a feeling my parts are probably going to cost around 300 bucks. So for 450, it's a pretty neat four-wheeler, being that it's basically a sport quad, but it's four-wheel drive. And when you need it, you can get out of getting stuck. So that's what my latest project is. And let's see if we can any other stickers on this side. DG. And Pro something I'm up for. Sure, some younger guys looking at this thing saying, I know what that is. I don't have a clue. So plastic's not bad on it either. A little bit of distortion here and there, but none of them are cracked anywhere. So I should get by with just heating them up and kind of bending them back, cleaning them up. Well, thanks for watching, and at some point hopefully I do a video this thing all together, and kicking up some mud and actually snow until the snow goes away, then some mud, and doing a little bit of playing with it. Well, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Take care.